They say royals don't bleed. Yet what if they burn, slowly under 1,000 camera flashes? Rumors now swirl like smoke through the marble corridors of Buckingham Palace as Prince Harry, red-faced, raging, feels the ground shift beneath him and senses he could lose everything he built. This isn't a routine tantrum or another passing tabloid squall. It's Britain's most feared biographer, Tom Bower, methodically pulling the pin on a grenade and tossing it straight at the Sussexes, threatening to scorch the carefully polished image they've cultivated for years. From the very beginning, Harry and Meghan erected a glittering fortress of curated photographs, angelic lighting, and velvet secrecy around Archie and Lilibet, protected by lawyers ready to strike at the faintest slip, projecting a myth of privacy and control. But Bower, battle-hardened after decades of staring down oligarchs, prime ministers, and billionaires and walking away with their secrets printed in bestsellers, now slices into the one place no one dared touch: Lilibet's birth, her christening, even her standing within the royal bloodline. On national television, he didn't simply tease rumors. He laid out a case with the cool confidence of a man holding documents, receipts, and names, claiming timelines don't match, key papers are murky, and palace officials never signed off on the rituals that legitimize a royal child's claim. Then hinting with a chill that King Charles himself quietly commissioned a legal review of her birth records.
Do you hear that? It isn't mere gossip, but the King of England quietly summoning lawyers over his granddaughter's legitimacy. A legal thunderclap that landed like a missile strike and, according to insiders, sent Harry stalking the halls of Montecito, slamming doors so hard the windows rattled, while little Archie cried in the next room and Meghan tried and failed to contain the rising panic. This wasn't just a headline to be managed, it was existential. The fragile, high-stakes business of legacy. Cast doubt on Lilibet's place in the royal family, and the entire Sussex brand begins to crumble. Because every Netflix docuseries, every podcast deal, every ghost-written bestseller has been sold not simply as fame, but as a repackaged crown, the rebellious mirror image of the monarchy. If that legitimacy falters, every glossy project suddenly reads like fiction dressed in royal drag. And Bower is far from finished. He's teasing a new book stuffed with documents, insider testimony, and what he openly calls the definitive truth about the Sussex children. A prospect Meghan reportedly fears because he never bluffs and rarely misses. Buckingham's silence, no denials, no clarifications, not even off-the-record whispers, is deliberate, a weapon sharpened by centuries of palace strategy, and Harry knows it. Inside Montecito, Meghan's PR army has been frantically flooding the internet with charity updates, glowing motherhood features, and lifestyle rebrands to smother the fire. But you can't drown a blaze when the arsonist still has fuel. With lucrative deals on the brink and her next projects in delicate play, the scandal feels radioactive, creeping into boardrooms and causing Hollywood executives who once courted the Sussexes to edge quietly away. 2 major development meetings have already been postponed indefinitely, a warning shot that rattles the Sussex camp. Inside Hollywood, a streaming platform insider mutters the killer phrase: high K talent, low trust. Industry shorthand for too much heat, not worth the trouble. Harry isn't calmly weighing deals or strategy. He's reportedly consumed with rage, pacing, making late-night calls to cop lawyers on both sides of the Atlantic, and demanding again and again, can we sue before the book drops? But Tom Bower builds legal fortresses, triple sourcing and triple lawyering every line. Trying to sue him is like punching a brick wall. Worse still, advisors warned that losing would validate his claims and blow them open in discovery, a trap with no safe exit. Meghan is said to be furious, reminding Harry she begged months ago to take the early whispers seriously, to threaten action, scare publishers, and block the deal. But he clung to the fantasy that the palace would ride to the rescue. Instead, Charles and William have quietly activated what aides call ghost protocol.
No comments, no leaks, no denials. A strategic wall of silence designed to make Harry look unhinged, while contingency plans and legal frameworks stack up behind the scenes. Public opinion, once their cushion, is shifting. Sympathy draining, skepticism rising as old contradictions resurface. The Oprah confessions, the Netflix dramatics, the tightly cropped baby photos that always raised questions. With Bauer's bombshell looming like a storm cloud over every deal, those doubts are mutating into belief. And that, insiders say, is what's eating Harry alive. Not just the accusations themselves, but the silence, the whispers, the creeping doubt he cannot sue or shout down.
It spreads quietly and visibly, like smoke through dry brush, until it's everywhere. Montecito slipping into an uneasy lockdown. Inside the Sussex compound, paranoia rules the hour as Meghan's communications team scrambles for soft-focus magazine profiles and glowing interviews to cushion the blow before Bauer's book lands. Harry has reportedly ordered staff to re-sign ironclad NDAs, even though most already had. Security patrols doubled, access to the children abruptly slashed, longtime caretakers and advisors pushed aside. What once looked like privacy now feels like siege warfare. Meghan's inner circle has fractured into factions, one urging retreat and radio silence, another agitating for a counteroffensive of leaks, family photos, even selective medical records if necessary. But Meghan understands the paradox. Try to disprove a rumor, and you feed it oxygen. And this one is already roaring like a landslide. Bauer, infuriatingly calm, has gone completely silent since his teaser, while tabloids spin new theories by the hour, and serious journalists begin combing through birth announcements, christening records, and obscure passages of royal law. He hasn't merely stirred the pot, he's transformed the entire global press corps into sharks circling a single drop of blood. In London, the palace maintains its mask. Charles appears at state ceremonies, William sticks to his schedule, smiling for the cameras. Yet behind those walls, crisis sessions churn. Constitutional experts and veteran lawyers pore over dusty handbooks, gaming out nightmare scenarios because monarchy, at its core, is about bloodlines. And if those tremble, so does the crown itself. Insiders whisper that Bauer timed his revelations with surgical precision, detonating them just before a major royal event as Charles prepares to walk into Parliament in full ceremonial regalia, the crown gleaming beneath the lights.
Cameras are everywhere, lining every corridor and framing every gesture. And if Bauer's book detonates just before the next royal spectacle, it won't merely humiliate Harry, it could destabilize the throne at the moment it is meant to look untouchable. Harry knows this, and that knowledge is what makes his rage boil hotter. It's no longer just about his own reputation, but about his father, his brother, the entire monarchy, and how one man's pen can stain centuries of ritual with a single narrative. Scandals normally flare and fade, but history lingers. And if Lilibet ever steps into the spotlight, she will inherit a shadow born not of her choices, but of her father's failure to stop it. Meghan, meanwhile, is reportedly plotting survival, holding quiet meetings without Harry's team, weighing lifestyle partnerships, publishing deals, and a rebrand as a businesswoman and mother, perhaps even dropping the Duchess label altogether. Not betrayal, insiders say, but self-preservation. Harry thought he was constructing a new legacy, a clean break from palace politics, paparazzi poison, and the weight of the crown. Yet legacies built on secrecy and spectacle need only one well-aimed pin to burst. Bauer hasn't even swung the final blow. He may not have to. The damage is already rippling outward. Trust eroding, Hollywood deals wobbling, the fairy tale cracked. And for Harry, pacing those Montecito halls late at night, the real loss isn't a book or a headline, but the slow, merciless unraveling of the story he believed would protect his family forever.